Hello, guys. Sorry, just waiting for everyone to come in. So give me some time. Okay, we'll give it a couple of minutes for everybody to join. This is so funny. I can see you guys all at the side, like going on mute, coming off mute. Don't worry about it. It's going to be really interactive, though. Well, as interactive as you guys want to make it. So just to let everyone know, while while you guys are all coming in, there is going to be a recording, which is going to be available for you to view for 48 hours after. So that's super exciting. If you do want to go back over everything, as I've already said, there is so much. I've really padded it out today. It's just me talking. By the way, there's no slides or anything, but I hope that you got somewhere where you can take notes, because I've got loads and loads of well, I'm sharing loads of things with you, but also like at the end of each section as well, I'm giving actionable tips for you to actually like go away and start implementing, because that's why I'm here, to try and, at least for today, hold you accountable with some things that you can pencil in, and so that you can action moving forward. So what's this in the chat box? The notes. Good. We don't use stationery anymore. So like, if this is your one opportunity to use it, then please use it. So I presume everyone wants to leave their videos off, and that's fine. This is a bit weird because I'm just talking to me now, but that is okay. So I've just got a few more joiners. Hello.
Hi.
So we'll see. Hello.
Hi.
Videos. Yay. Sorry, by the way, don't feel like you have to put your video on. There's no pressure here. You don't have to. Oh, they're all coming on now though. So it's completely fine. Like, we're all in lockdown. We're all just kind of like chilling. Cool. So as I said, we'll just give it like a couple more minutes, but I just want to let you guys know it's gonna be about 60 minutes or so. Obviously, that's what we said. I will try and keep it not go over, because I really respect your time. But of course, it depends like how much interaction there is here, which is really good. And you guys know me by now, because you're on my Instagram, and you know that my style is like super informal. So it's kind of like anything goes. You know, we've got the chat box over here, and I am going to be asking you some stuff throughout as well, and I really want it to be interactive. I feel like really awkward if it's just me talking to you guys for 60 minutes like some sort of lecture. That's not my style. So yeah, just make it really interactive, because I want to make sure that anything you guys want to know, that you also have it answered by the end as well. So awesome. You've got your chamomile tea. So I've got my tea. I don't know if anyone else has got theirs. No snacks, but here we go. We've got a couple. Oh, is that a unicorn? Oh no.
No, it's a cat.
I like
it's a peppermint as well.
I love that. Awesome. So first of all, I know that most of you know me, but I'm just going to do another introduction anyway, because some of you might not know me. But yeah, I'm Grace, and I'm a business coach and mentor for new coaches. So I'm super passionate about helping new coaches get their business off the ground and learn how to consistently enroll clients into their business, so that ultimately you can go full time. Because I was in the corporate world for 4 years, and quite frankly, I really hated it, and I would have done anything to leave, but I didn't like have an exit plan. I just didn't know what it looked like for me. And this is why it's a niche that I'm just so passionate about, helping you go full time and have that confidence to take your business full time as well. So I basically I won't give you the whole history of my corporate life, but I spent 4 years working in the corporate world as a corporate client success manager. So it was it really set me up well for actually what I do now. It was building client relationships, it was selling, it was internal marketing. And so for all of the flaws of the job, it did give me a lot of good stuff that really helped me in my business now. And I went full time in my coaching business like over a year ago now. It was the end of 2019. So 2020 was a year of massive learning, massive growth, massive development, massive failure, if we can say that. But I don't believe there is any such thing as failure. But we all have to go, through these peaks and troughs, these ups and downs on your journey to success. And that's kind of the first learning that I want to share with you guys, that there's no like continuous uphill when it comes to your business. It's going to be like this the whole way. And I'm going to go into a bit more detail, but this is why like mindset work is so important, because when you work on your mindset, you're that person that doesn't give up in hard times, that you're determined to really, really make it work. So that's enough about me. As I said, it's going to be about 60 minutes, run for about 60 minutes. And what I want you guys to think about now, you might have already thought about it, and I want you to drop it in the text box as well if you feel comfortable sharing, but what you want to get out of this session today, because the coach in me is always about setting goals. Oh, sorry. We've just got some more people here. Okay, cool. Hi guys, sorry, late comers. So I've just done a little bit of okay, cool. So for you guys that have just come in, I've just done an introduction to me. You haven't missed anything yet except the introduction. And I was just saying that it's going to be about 60 minutes and I want it to be really, really interactive. So for you guys to make sure that all of your questions are answered. So I'm going to stop at points as we go through and asking questions for you guys to answer in the chat box. But if there's anything that comes up as we're going through as well, then please put it in the text box. And I'm going to be going back and forth as well to make sure that everything is answered. So does that all make sense? Give me a thumbs up. Awesome. Cool. So as I was saying, I want you guys to, if you want to share it, if you feel comfortable sharing it, great. If you don't, not a problem. But there's a reason why you've all turned up today. There's a reason. And as I was saying, the coach in me is always looking what success looks like, about achieving those goals. And while we can look at it and say this is just a 60-minute workshop, there's a reason why you wanted to turn up today, and there was something that you want to achieve at the end of this hour. So I want you to think about now, and then you're going to reflect on this in an hour. What is it that you really want to get out of today's workshop? What is the reason why you chose to turn up to this workshop today? So if anyone feels happy sharing that in the box, you don't have to, but just because I want to make sure that everything is covered by the end, then please feel free. But otherwise, this is also just for your benefit, so that, okay, there we go. Sorry, we just had someone else join. So this is for your benefit, so that you can make sure that what you want us to get out of it, you do at the end of it. So take a few seconds. I've been watching Ben and Ollie's. Take a few seconds for reflection. And also, as I said, not just about like being in the text box, but if anyone has a question, when you want to come off mute, please do that, because it's almost like it's a shared, as I said, it's not kind of me, well, I'm here like telling you guys and like, teaching you. I'm hesitant to use that word, but like, I want you guys to feel comfortable like coming off mute if there's anything you want to share as well. Okay, cool. So, Kirsty, clarity on my offer, mindset for signing clients. Yeah, and I think this is the first point that I'm going to go into. So essentially, the 5 points that I said I was going to cover in this workshop, I'm just going to go through them like, it's a checklist, because this is what I told you I was going to cover, and I like just want to cut straight to it, okay, so that you guys get what you came here for. Mindset is so important, and I know that we all know this and we're all told it, but I cannot tell you enough how important it is to work on your mindset every single day, because mindset is the foundation for any business success. And you can have all of the business strategies in the world, but if you don't have a solid mindset, a mindset that is going to take you through those difficult times, then no business strategy is going to help you be successful if you don't believe that it's possible for you to actually make this a success. So easier said than done, but I want you guys to make a commitment today that like today is the day that you decide that failure is not an option. And I say a failure lightly because we know that we all kind of have to fail to succeed. But what I mean is that you're not going to give up. You guys are all here because you know that you want to make your business a success. And that mindset is going to carry you through, but you need to do work on it every single day to ensure that when times do get a bit tough, you don't go, oh, fuck it, like I'm giving up because this is just not working for me. Because that is what most people do, right? And that is why a lot of new businesses, the majority, it's about 70% or something of new businesses, small businesses, fail in the first 2 years. And this can come down to many things, but a big reason is because they haven't developed a mindset for success and they truly believe that it's possible for them. So if that's learning number one, is I want you guys to make a commitment to yourself today that you are going to like do it no matter what, because they are the people that are successful in this business. Okay. Cool. So if that all makes sense, a big Instagram engagement, content management. What do you mean exactly by content management? Just clarify that for me. But yeah, Instagram engagement, this everything ties back into everything. Okay, so we're going to get to the end of the masterclass, and if there's any other questions, you guys can let me know. Okay, thumbs up for those on video. Awesome. Cool. So first thing I said I was going to cover with you is the number one tip to dampen your self-doubt fast so that you can actually start showing up as the CEO that you already are. And again, mindset shift. I want you guys to think that when people say that you're a CEO, you think you have to be like earning money to be a CEO. You have to be on 6 figures to be a CEO, but you're not. You have a business, therefore you are the CEO of your own business, whether or not you're making money yet. So you need to step into this mindset of being the CEO already, okay? So the number one tip for me is to have a very clear business strategy. Now, I'm going to go into a bit more detail because that is broad, right? But this will help you when you have a clear plan and a clear business strategy. Your confidence is going to build very, very quickly, and your self-doubt dampens very quickly as well. So fear and self-doubt for me comes down to the two main areas of mindset and business strategy. And a lot of people think that fear and mindset is, fear and self-doubt is down to mindset alone, but I'm going to explain why that's not the case. So your mindset work, I'm sure you know, a lot of you do it already. You're journaling, affirmations, meditation, exercise, having some sort of accountability to help like push you through when your mind might be telling you you can't do it. Now, these are the mindset work bits that a lot of people do day to day, and this is great. But having a clear business plan and a clear business strategy is going to help dampen your self-doubt very quickly, because you know it's very clear for you what you need to be focusing on every single day to get clients. And when you have this clarity in your mind, there's no overwhelm, there's no procrastination. You are very, very focused on this is what I need to do, and I'm building my confidence to do it. And when this happens, when you have a clear plan of what you need to do, your confidence builds very quickly to actually go out there and sell yourself. Okay. And I'm going to go into a bit more detail on this as well. So in a nutshell, your business strategy is knowing your niche, knowing your ideal client very, very well, and creating an offer for these people based on what they need. So this is not what they want or what you think they want, but something that they really, really need. And because when people need something, there is this urgency for them to actually take action and invest in your services. And then once you've got this irresistible offer, it's then communicating out that offer and that transformation that you are selling with your offer, doing that every day, selling it every day. And I know as a new coach, that might seem a little bit scary right now because you're probably not at the point where you feel confident to go out and sell. But if you're not selling, no one's buying. So we need to get you to this point where you do feel confident to go out there and sell your services. Okay. And for me though as well, sorry, I'm just checking back that no one's coming in, right? So having a clear, this being confident with your business plan also comes down to like this, having clear organization and structure in your day. Because when you don't have daily, weekly, monthly plans of action, it's very easy for you to quickly get overwhelmed. And when you get overwhelmed, I'm sure you can all resonate with this, that results in not taking action and actually procrastinating. And then you get into this vicious cycle of you're not doing the work, you're not seeing results, you doubt your ability to succeed. And then it just kind of goes into this really potentially like dangerous vicious cycle. And we don't want to get you there. So it's about knowing what action you need to take. Because as I said, when you get clarity on the action, your mindset naturally strengthens and you build that confidence. So let me know in the chat box if that all makes sense. But I have an actionable tip for you here is to get clear on your monthly priorities, get clear on your weekly goals from those monthly priorities, and then break those weekly goals down into your daily goals. And I want you to pencil these into your diary every single day. Because what this is going to do is it's going to give you the clarity. Every time you sit down to work on your business, you are going to have a very, very clear idea of what you need to focus on. And when you don't, and you guys can tell me in the chat box if this is the case, when you sit down and you don't have a clear plan of what you need to focus on to progress forward and move the needle, you sit there staring at your computer screen going, I don't really know what to do. So you probably get sucked into that like Instagram scrolling endlessly, mindlessly. Maybe you like get a bit too carried away creating like Canva graphics or something like that. Rebecca, great advice, makes complete sense. And it's a really, really small and quick thing to do. Some people like to plan out their week. For me personally, I plan out day to day. I take 5 minutes at the end of the day to plan out the next day. And that's all it takes. But when you pencil it in, you will automatically stay so much more committed to actually seeing it through than if you like just say, yeah, I'll do it. And then you don't actually get around to do it. You never procrastinate. I know you put lol. Is that a joke, Kirsty? All right, you're a procrastinator. Okay. And we've all done it. We've all done it. Even me now, sometimes we procrastinate. We might get a bit carried away. Like, I don't know, go and do your laundry and then this, and then all of a sudden an hour's passed and you've wasted time. We all do it. It's like very, very normal, but it's about setting yourself up for success in the best possible way to minimize the chance of doing that. Okay. You never set monthly or weekly goals. That's a good point. And we all know as coaches, right, how important it is to actually set goals. But when you're not held accountable and we just kind of coast through, we don't set ourselves goals. And it's like really, really hypocritical of us, because like we tell our clients, you need to set goals. That's how we're going to get you there. But it's only for me, like actually taking the time to sit down or having a coach yourself where you actually have to stay accountable to seeing that action plan through and actually hitting your goals. Great. So that is tip number 1, is get clear on what you want to work towards for the next month moving forward. Break it down into what your weekly priorities are, break it down into what you need to focus on every single day. And then that is going to get you a clear plan for what you want to achieve in a month's time. Yes, Rana, exactly. Having that confidence to sell yourself. Exactly. And it all comes back to the same thing. Confidence with selling yourself is actually not just about mindset. It's about having an offer that your audience needs. It's about being able to effectively market yourself and sell yourself, because your confidence builds so quickly when you have these things in place, because you're like, I want to go out there and tell everybody about this because I know that they need it. And as I said, need creates urgency to invest. Okay. So attracting your ideal clients to your Instagram profile. Okay. So this is all about saying goodbye to endless hours of proactive searching. So let me know in the chat box, because I want to get a hands up on this. Who feels right now like they are having to spend hours on Instagram trying to find clients? So I would love to know everyone's thoughts on this. Put it in the chat box. Okay, so, okay, cool. So I think the general consensus here is this is what needs to happen. And I'm going to bust this myth for you as well, because when I started out, I thought there's no way that this can be it, that I have to spend hours and hours on Instagram searching for people to try and beg them to work with me. And I'm not saying that you don't need to do proactive outreach. If we all know, and this is why it's so important to set boundaries, when you're at basically social media is like an unlimited game, right? You could spend an hour on it a day, you could spend 12 hours on it a day. And this is why, and I hold my hands and say this as somebody who isn't doing this very well, you need to have boundaries with social media. And it's something I really struggle with because I just like networking with people. I love speaking to people. And it makes my eyes go really funny from staring at a screen all day. So it's really important that you set boundaries. And actually, I'm going to give you a really quick tip here that I did the other day and it works so well. On your iPhone, you can set screen time limits. So I went on the other day and I put like my screen time limit on Instagram to half an hour. And after half an hour, it goes off and it's like your time is up. And you can say, yeah, okay, great. Or you can ignore it. So what I do is that is on. So I can't just like randomly go onto Instagram. So it means that when I go on to do my engagement, I'm very intentional with my time because you can then turn it off for 15 minutes. So it's like, then you're not like tempted to go on it during the day because the app is off essentially. So that's a really good tip for anyone. I don't know if it works on Android, but definitely on iPhone. Okay. So essentially, yeah, you need to implement boundaries, but I just thought like there has to be something more than spending hours trying to beg people. And the reason why you should only be focusing on Instagram, in my opinion, is because on Instagram, you are able to build a brand around you. You are like the center and you create your page. It's got a visual aesthetic. You are in charge of everything that is put out there. And as millennials, Instagram by far, you guys can tell me whether you agree with this or not, but like definitely for me, it is the most popular platform to use because it is so intuitive, it's so easy, and it's just so easy to connect with people. And somehow Instagram knows how to send the right people to your profile. So as I said, when you're at the beginning, you do need to do proactive outreach, right? And this can be done through looking at competitors. It can be done through hashtag searching. So looking under certain hashtags where you will find your audience. Or just like searching into the Instagram search bar. So if your audience is self-love coaches, you can literally type into the Instagram search bar self-love coaches and it's just going to bring up everyone who has that title. So it's up to you how much proactive outreach you want to do, but these are some ways that you can do proactive outreach. Now, if you want to get as many eyes as possible onto your profile as quickly as possible, then you need to do a combination of proactive with like pulling people to you. But on Instagram, it's about creating a magnetic client attraction system. So essentially where you are the magnet in the middle and your content and your profile is so optimized that anyone who is within your niche, who is an ideal client, lands on your profile and straight away they say, I need to follow this person. Because as I said, somehow like Instagram knows who to send to your profile based on who you're looking for, who's following you. That's the scary thing about Instagram. Okay. So you need to have a clear plan with your content strategy and be able to effectively market yourself in your content. So you need to be speaking your ideal client's language and you need to have whatever it means for you, a visually appealing Instagram so that your ideal client lands on your page and says, I need to follow this person because I know that they can help me with the very thing that I need help with. And this is the core, the center of creating a magnetic client attraction system, is when your profile is optimized in the best possible way to ensure that anyone landing on there will hit follow. So I'm going to go through some points as to how you can do this. So literally, like, first of all, your Instagram handle, is it something really fluffy like the unicorn magnet? I don't know, just the first thing, I love unicorns, that came to my head, that someone's going to be like, what's that? Or is it like your name, like coaching, Grace Lancer coaching? Are they going to go, okay, it clearly tells me what she does and I'm very aware of that. Your photo, for example, should be a close-up photo of your face so that the minute your audience lands on your profile, they feel that instant connection. They can see the face behind the profile. And then your Instagram bio as well. So having clearly who you help and how you help them. Because this is, again, going to speak to them directly. If you say, I help self-love coaches master their mindset so that they can live a happier life, for example, that's literally the first thing that came off the top of my head. Then if someone is a self-love coach and they want to live a happier life, they're going to see as soon as they land on your profile, like, I need to follow this person because I know their content is really going to help me achieve what I'm looking to achieve. So making sure that you have that I help statement very, very clearly written, who you help and how you help them. Okay. And then have your coach title as well. So are you a business coach, a success coach, a manifestation coach? Again, have this because people are looking for specific coaches when they go out there and look online. And have your name, if this is not in your coaching handle, in your profile handle, because again, something that I see is when people don't have their name, I'm like, who am I talking to? I don't know, even just putting your name on there, it's like, okay, I can see this girl is called Grace. I feel more of a connection with her now. And then also having a call to action in your at the bottom as well. So whatever that is, join my Facebook group, download my freebie, apply here to work with me. Your bio should have some form of call to action because everyone's very busy. We need to tell our audience specifically what we want them to do. Okay. And then lastly, with your bio is like the stories highlights as well. So obviously when you put anything on stories, it vanishes after 24 hours. Anything that does vanish that you want your audience to be able to access and binge, you can put it in the highlights reel. So perhaps like an introduction to yourself, something about your services, maybe some learning resource or like mini trainings, a folder where you will put like good feedback or like client testimonials or things like that. Just anything so that when someone lands on your page, they've got some of your content that they can binge and like see what you're like as a person on video as well. So does that make sense? Does anyone have any questions actually about Instagram bios or anything like that? Do you feel like yours are very well optimized at the moment for when your audience, when your niche are landing on your page? So let me know. And I'm just going to see some of the comments over here. So I love that everyone's like, me. Okay, so Kirsty, I have no idea when Insta. I play mostly Facebook. Instagram scares me. Oh no, how come? Let me know why Instagram scares you. I think Instagram, like for me, and I'm sure you guys, obviously, Instagram is the only platform that I use apart from email. I think it's the best platform. You guys all found me through Instagram. That implies that you guys all use Instagram. Well, you do, but only use Instagram. I personally think it's the best platform. It's a platform that everybody is on. And Kirsty, to go to your point about Facebook, this is my personal opinion, and I have some controversial content coming out later. But for me, Facebook, nobody really cares about you on Facebook. Everybody goes into Facebook groups. For me, how I describe it is it's literally like a sea of sharks where everybody, it's not about relationship building. It's like who can give me what I want. This is my opinion and this is my experience of being on Facebook for a good 6 months and deciding that I didn't want to be on Facebook because it felt completely out of alignment for me. Whereas on Instagram, you are able to build a brand and a business around you, and people are there because they connect with your vision and your values and your personality. And that comes across a lot in your the aesthetics of your feed even, and the stories that you tell and the language that you use. So cool. Any booking add-on recommendations? Book here. I don't know exactly what you mean, Georgina, but we can look at that afterwards. So recently revamped yours. Yes, good. The bio is pretty good. That's what I want you guys to think. I want you to feel confident with your bio because that is going to be the hook that brings your audience onto your page. But yes, optimize the story circles at the bottom. Yeah, and there's some really good ideas as well for you guys. Introductions, stories, mini trainings, things like that. Okay. And then when it comes to as well, getting people to hit that follow, it's about, first of all, as I said, creating a really good brand aesthetic on your Instagram. So making sure that people really connect with your branding. And that's very, very important. It says a lot about your personality, whatever you want that to be. And then having your good content strategy, because if people will naturally, when they go onto your profile, they're going to open a couple of your posts and be like, okay, what's this person all about? And if they see content that they read a post and they're like, holy shit, like I feel like she's in my head, that really, really speaks to me, then they are going to not only follow you, but they are going to be like, I need to consume all of her content. So they're going to go and look at more of your content. They're going to make sure that they're always coming back to your content because they know that it's going to help them. Okay. And as I said, when you create this content, Instagram somehow knows who to send to your profile. So it's all about optimizing your profile in the best way to ensure that your ideal clients are landing on there. And then when Instagram sees that loads of people are following you, it's going to send more people to your profile. And this is when you're not having to spend hours and hours trawling online for people, because you build a brand and a community around you. So here are my tips from this section that you can go and implement straight away. Fill out your Instagram bio, and all these bits I've said about, like your profile picture, your handle, making sure that your name and your coach title is on there, your who you help, how you help them, having a strong call to action, and creating your stories highlights as well. And also to make sure moving forward that you are creating content for your audience and not for you, or not for what you think your audience wants. And this is so, so important. And it's where a lot of new coaches go wrong, is they don't know exactly what their audience wants. So they kind of create vague content, or they create content that they think they want, but is not actually what your target audience wants. So you end up kind of posting about general inspirational stuff, or like random stuff, and not really having a clear strategic content plan that is going to get you clients. Okay. So if you want your audience to kind of come back and revisit your profile, it needs to be bang on point. Okay. So you need to go out there and speak to them if you don't know what they want to hear in your content. Okay. So does that all make sense? I'm trying to like come back and like do my bit, but then come back to you guys as well. So, okay, no comments there. So thumbs up. Does that all make sense about Instagram bios and optimization and all stuff like that? Awesome. Cool. So am I covering everything that you guys want to hear at the moment? Is there anything else about Instagram bios or profiles or anything that, oh, thank you. This is so kind. Okay, thanks, guys. So as I said, if there's anything as we're going through, then just pop it in the text box. I'm going to come back to it. I want to make sure that all of your questions are answered. Really good point about posts that are for your audience and not yourself. Yeah, and this is something that my own coach was telling me the other day about, what's it called? Like something like the curse of learning. Is because we are further ahead than our target audience, we think we know what they want, but actually it's not what they want, because we're already further ahead than them. So this is why you need to go back and you need to speak to your audience and find out everything about them so that you can put together content specifically for them. This is like the most key thing you can do in your business. If there's one piece of advice, is to always be speaking to your audience about what they want. Okay, cool. So I hope this is all making sense. So next point that I was going to cover, my proven formula for generating a constant stream of hot leads into your DMs. So we've got about 7 points here. And so I'm just going to list them off essentially, and then go into a little bit more detail. So firstly is to, as I said, work on your mindset daily. This is the most important thing that you can do. And you need to work out what working on your mindset looks like for you, because a lot of people can think that I have to do affirmations, I have to do journaling. But like for me, for example, most of my mindset work comes from doing exercise, like running and doing HIIT and challenging myself to always do better. So it doesn't have to be those things. It can be just 1 or 2 things. It can be 5 different things, 10 different things, whatever it is for you. And if you don't work on your mindset daily, you are going to be that person who is going to falter in difficult times, because you're not going to have the strong foundations in place for ultimate business success. And as I said, the entrepreneurial journey, it is very difficult. We want it to be plain sailing. And to be honest, when I came into the online world, this is so naive, but social media really paints that it's very easy to have an online business, to hit 10K, 20K, 30K months. But the reality is very, very different, and it's not. And it requires a level of persistence and consistency and hard work, the same as if you were setting up a bricks and mortar business. I say I've never done it myself, but you need that same level of hard work. It's not easy signing clients. Okay. Well, I mean, to get to those 10, 20, 30K months, you have to put the work in to get there. I'm not going to pretend it's not easy, but as time goes on and you refine your messaging and you get better at putting yourself out there, it becomes a lot easier. It does. It's just that first challenge, those initial challenges at the beginning. Okay, so it's when the people who have built that strong foundation are the people who are going to be able to push through in hard times. And as I said, like most people, these this statistic of like 70% of businesses fail, small businesses fail within the first 2 years. A lot of the time, people haven't worked on their mindset. They don't have a strong enough mindset to make their business a success. So you need to ensure that this is a daily priority for you with mindset work, whatever that looks like for you. Second point is to have clear daily structure so that you always know what you are focusing on when you sit down to work on your business. And if you don't have this clear plan, this clear daily structure, you won't know what to focus on. You're going to procrastinate. You're then going to do nothing. You're then going to get overwhelmed. And then you're going to get very, very frustrated because you're not progressing and moving your business forward. So this is the point I've already said, and I already gave you that tip about planning it all out in advance and penciling it in your diary. I can't tell you how, like when I started penciling everything in my diary, I used Google Calendar. It was like, great, I have this ultimate clarity on what my day looks like. And it's such a small, simple tip, but I can't tell you how helpful it is, genuinely. The next point is to show up consistently with a clear, compelling message that connects with your audience, okay? Because as I said, you need your audience to resonate with the content that you're putting out there. Otherwise, they're not going to come back to your content for more. And if you don't show up consistently with a clear, compelling message, well, firstly, if you don't show up consistently, then you're not going to be front of mind with your audience. And for me, in my opinion, your audience is not going to take you seriously, because people that show up consistently, it shows that you are very passionate about what you do. And it shows that you have a lot to speak about in your business, which tells somebody like, wow, they know a lot of stuff on this topic. If you show up inconsistently, someone would be like, she showed up like every day last week and now she's kind of gone AWOL for 3 weeks. And it just kind of tells me that she doesn't really have a plan. She's not like moving forward, like, you know, in a consistent way, quite frankly. And if you don't have a clear and compelling message, then your audience is not going to resonate with you. They're not going to connect with your content. They're not going to connect with you. And what that means ultimately is that they are not going to invest into your services because you're not speaking to them. You're not speaking their language. They don't feel like you are in their head. Okay. And this is what people speak about a lot when they say you need to make sure that they read your content and they're like, oh my goodness, it seems like she's in my head. She knows what I'm thinking. Because when they feel like that, that's when there's the urgency, when they're like, oh my goodness, she understands what I'm going through. So does that all make sense at the moment? Give me a thumbs up. I know everyone's a bit quiet on the chat. I hope that means it's because you're all taking loads of notes. But yeah, just like leave me some comments, leave me some thumbs up as well. Okay, if that all makes sense. Perfect. So next point is to make sure that you are always delivering, making those notes. Awesome. Always make sure that you are delivering insane value in your content, right? The more you give for free, the more you position yourself as an expert, the more your audience genuinely thinks, holy shit, if this is what she is giving away for free, her paid services must be amazing. And I know, and I do remember this at the beginning thinking, I can't give away free content because then nobody's going to want to invest in my services if I give everything away for free. But the fact is that they don't know everything. That's the reason why they're struggling at the moment, is because they don't know everything. But we know as coaches that a lot of taking action, seeing it through and hitting goals comes from accountability. And when you don't have someone to keep you accountable, you're not going to hit those goals. You know, it's the accountability is a big part of why people see success or why they don't see success. You could probably honestly give your whole coaching program away for free and someone still wouldn't see results because they've got no one to tell them or to keep them accountable to make sure that they're actually working on it every single day. I'm not suggesting you do that. Don't do that. It was to illustrate a point, okay? So you need to make sure that you're always delivering insane value, because if you don't deliver endless value in your content, you're actually really going to struggle to sell. And the reason for this is there's this law of like reciprocity, where the more you give people, the more they feel like they owe you something as well. And a really good example, and I don't know if you guys like resonate with this, but I know that I do. If you go into a store and they're giving you like free tasters, you know, and you stand by the taster person and you take one and you're like, oh, I kind of feel like I have to go in and like buy this now that they've given it to me. Let me know if you guys resonate, but I know I do. And it's the same. The more you give for free, the more somebody thinks like, oh my goodness, I kind of feel like, you know, I have to kind of give something to her because she just gives me so much value. So if that's one tip that I can give you, deliver value, endless value in your content. And the reason is, when you deliver value, it makes it so much easier to sell. Because if you are just pitching and selling all the time, people are going to be like, all she does is pitch. Whereas if they're like, she pitches all the time, or like whatever, however many times a week, but she gives me so much value. And so like, I'm so much more open to hearing about what she has to tell me because I'm already getting so much from her for free. Okay, so I hope that all makes sense. So start giving loads and loads of value in your content. And this is not just educational, but value can also be based on your past experience, a learning that you've overcome, like inspirational, showing them what's possible. You can deliver value in different ways. Okay. Connect with your audience daily. You have to make networking and engagement a priority. And it's something that when I began, I really saw it as a chore, right? And it shouldn't feel like this, but I know that it can, and I know that it does. And it's not just me, I hear other people saying that as well. And some of my past clients have told me that they find it difficult to sit down and do engagement. Now, my biggest tip here would be, if it's something you do struggle with, make it fun, whatever fun is for you. If that means getting a cup of tea, putting a candle on, maybe putting some music on in the background, you need to dedicate ample time to your engagement and to your networking, because building relationships is key to business success. And especially when you want to fill out your one-to-one, for one-to-one especially, people buy based on that emotional connection that they have with someone. So if you are not building relationships, again, you are not going to be able to sell. You're not going to be able to sell. And that is ultimately what it comes down to. If you don't take the time to get to know the people that you actually want to pitch to, they are not going to be interested in what you have to offer. And I know that with relationships, it can take time. Some people, they just have a connection instantly. A lot of the time, like, networking with your audience can be through the DMs. It can be through their posts, it can be through their stories. But this is why knowing how to effectively market and sell yourself is one of the most important things that you can do. It's a massive part of my coaching program, because when you do this, your content builds trust, and it builds a lot of the trust for you, and it does a lot of the selling for you as well. So then networking comes down to just like brand awareness and boosting engagement and that kind of thing. So it's the most important thing that you can do for your business is creating amazing content and networking. If there's two things that you should be focusing on every day, it is those two things. And the reason why networking is actually so important, not just for you selling directly to that person, but if you're networking with somebody and they're like, they don't think they're a good fit for your services, but they're like, this person is like really nice and really awesome, and if I ever come across their niche, I'm going to refer them to this person or to this person's page. And also brand awareness as well. Like, when you build relationships, people feel a lot more confident, like even sharing your content. And that is amazing for boosting authority, boosting brand awareness, and boosting engagement, because it's sending people back to your content as well. Okay. So last 2 points is having strategic conversations with your audience, with ideal clients that position you as an expert. So this is something that I teach again in my coaching, because a lot of people, new coaches, they go into the DMs, and I know it's this thing that makes people feel so sleazy, and they kind of go, I don't really know what to say. I freeze. I can't speak about my services. I can't pitch myself. This is really awkward. the reason is because you probably haven't mastered these other steps that we've spoken about yet, like clearly defining your niche and your ideal client, creating an irresistible offer, actually like knowing how to create a content strategy that takes your audience on a journey that gets them closer and closer to investing in your services. So if you are not having strategic conversations in the DMs, we hear this word friend zoned, right? This phrase friend zoned, but it's very easy for you to get friend zoned because you're not discussing business. You feel so awkward to turn the conversation to business and what they might be struggling with and how you could potentially help them, that before you know it, they're like, oh, we should have a Zoom chat, or like, oh, you live in London, like we should also like meet up. And we're all for making friends with the right people, but when you've got a potential client in front of you, you don't want to get friend zoned by that person, because difficult to get out of the friend zone. Speak to any guy, difficult to get out of the friend zone once they're in the friend zone, okay? And it also means like you're going to struggle to convert as well, because ultimately like you're not getting your audience to open up about their struggles, what success looks like to them, and how you could actually help them. And so it means that you're not getting to that point where you can actually pitch your services. Okay. And this is why strategic conversations are so important, so that you're not feeling awkward, you're not feeling sleazy, you're doing it in a way that empowers you and also the person that you're speaking to. And I'm going to cover this. I'm just going to cover this afterwards as well. And then the last point is to sell. And I know that I had this, and I know that as a new coach, it is you're not at that stage yet where you feel confident to sell your offer, again because you're probably procrastinating on your niche. You haven't created your irresistible offer, and ultimately everything starts with niche clarity and ideal client clarity. And until you have this clarity, you like literally can't do the other steps after it, because everything comes from creating content, creating an offer, creating your coaching program specifically for this person. Okay, so ultimately this is like, if you don't sell, you're not going to make money, because if you want to sell, if you people are not going to buy if you're not selling, it's going to make it so much harder. And if you, again, I need you to like shift your mindset around this. Is a lot of new coaches feel really awkward selling, going, oh my goodness, but I sold yesterday and like people are going to get sick of hearing me sell again. They won't, because your ideal clients are the people who are interested in what you have to offer. And actually by repeating that you are selling, they're going to be like, it's just going to reinforce to them that they need your help. And for the people that do get sick of you pitching, they're not interested in your services anyway. So they'll unfollow you, but that's fine, because not everybody is for you. And I need you to again, get into that mindset that most people in your audience are never going to buy from you, especially as our audience grows. The proportion of people that we actually work with is tiny in proportion to the size of our audience. So these are all the tips, the proven steps that have got me clients ever since I started my coaching business. Well, again, actually for the first 3 months of my coaching business, I didn't sell. I'd speak about this vocally on my Instagram. For the first 3 months of launching my coaching business, I didn't sign any clients. But after that, when I finally got clarity on all of these, consistent clients every month. Okay. So my tips for you here are to start doing all of these things that I have mentioned weekly and daily. And these are going to correlate to the point before about penciling in your daily plans. I want everything that I've just mentioned for you to break that down into how that can fit into your week and your day. And I want you to take your diary out after this workshop, and I want you to pencil it into your diary so that you can start actioning it. Okay. So mainly, don't give up, keep selling our ideas. And then exactly. And the ones that are interested in your services are the ones that are going to be asking about you. They're going to even be the ones that are open to having a conversation with you in the DMs. Because a lot of the time we can think like, oh my goodness, this conversation is so awkward. And I'm going to come on to this next. This conversation is like so awkward, and you feel like you have to force it because you're so attached to the outcome of getting clients and making the sale. But when a conversation is very awkward, it's most likely not the right person for you. So you say, okay, fine, that person's not interested in hearing what I have to say. That is not a problem, because they are not the right person for me. And there are plenty of people out there who are the right person for me. Okay, so does that all make sense? Any questions? No, okay, I will take silence as golden. Okay. So next part, wait, sorry, we do. Okay. Do you have some DM message suggestions to find out what my ideal client is struggling with, reasons why they followed, what resonated with them, so we can start a conversation? So actually, I have a really a small mini course about selling on stories launching in a couple of weeks. But what I would say is, when it comes to, okay, Georgina, I'm going to cover this next part because it may well answer your question. In fact, it is going to answer your questions, which is all about how to have strategic sales conversations that empower you and your hot lead so that they are saying yes to working with you. Okay, and this yes might not come straight away. As we said, relationship building can take time, but it's about nurturing the people who you can identify are ideal clients and a very good fit for your services. Okay. So the first things first is not to have a script. A good conversation, like in real life, a good conversation flows naturally and with ease, and it should never ever feel forced. And the thing that I want you to think is, if it does feel forced, then they are not the right person for you, or perhaps like they are, but it's just not the right time. And when it comes to signing clients, a lot of it comes down to it being the right time for that person. Okay, whatever else they might have going on in their life, it might not be the right time for them right now. I think it's like, use your gut and your intuition. If you can tell this person's been a bit more closed off in the conversation today, but you know in your heart of hearts that they would be perfect, then keep them on the radar, okay? Because it means probably they are, but it's just not the right time for them. Secondly, when you go into DM conversations, detach from the outcome, because when you do, believe me, the conversations become so easier and so much easier. And I say this from my own personal experience. When I started out, I felt like I had to pitch in every single conversation I went into, because I was like, I'm here to get clients, and if I don't pitch, I'm not signing clients. And like, how long can this take? But a conversation should never, ever feel forced, okay? And I want you to remember this. And as a tip, if you think like, I'm having a conversation with someone and I don't really know what to say right now, but I don't feel ready to end the conversation, simply think, if this person was standing in front of me right now, what would I say to them? And again, this sounds so simple, but believe me, I have tried it and it works. That you're like, oh my God, I don't know what to say. And you're like, okay, if they were standing here and I was having a natural conversation, what would I say? And you're like, well, of course I would say this. And you're like, great. So I'm going to put it into a message. Okay. And it sounds so simple, but shifting your mindset around this, reframing it, is going to really, really help you have natural conversations. And I think a lot of the time people can have their guards up because a lot of people are pitching to people. But again, it's like, if you would say to somebody in real life, oh, you're like, your coaching sounds really interesting. Like, how did you get into it? If you know that you would say that to them in real life, then say it to them in a text, in a message. But if you're like, no, I wouldn't say this, then it's like, okay, that is a bit forced, and they will get that. They will see that you're like forcing the conversation, and like, that doesn't feel good for anyone. Okay. So yeah, approach your conversations with like, I am just going in there to network, to build relationships. And when you build relationships, this is when you don't feel sleazy pitching to people, because you can do, but you're not always, most of the time, you're not going to pitch straight away. It's about building those relationships. And as that person feels like more, they warm up to you, they open up to you a bit more, and you can start asking them more strategic questions. That is when you don't feel sleazy pitching, because you are not pitching to everyone. And I want you to as well, like, shift your mindset around this. You are only pitching to people who you have pre-qualified with questions, and you can say, this person would be a perfect fit for my services. And this takes all of the sleaziness out of selling, because you're like, I'm only offering my offer to people who I know absolutely need it. And anyone who doesn't need it, I'm not even going to tell them about my offer, because I know that they're not the right fit for it. And I know, like, again, from past experience, when I was a new coach, you just kind of want to pitch to everyone. You don't really, you're not picky about the people that you work with. We have our ideal client avatar. These are our dream clients. But I know from my own experience that when you're a new coach, you just want to kind of get anyone. And I'm going to be very honest about that. Like, my first few clients were not ideal clients. Like, it teaches you a lot. But it's better for you to wait to start signing clients, or like to consistently sign clients. It's better for you to wait and only offer to people who you really, really want to work with, because you're going to be so much more motivated to actually show up for those people. Okay. I'm just going to oh no, sorry, no, that's not that right. Ignore me. As I said, if you don't know what to say, literally take a step back and be like, what would I say to this person if they were in front of me right now? One of the best things you can do, one of the simplest tips, and one of the most effective tips that I can offer you, honestly. As I said, people that are ideal clients, they are going to be open to talking to you. The people that shut you down, that give you one-word answers, that, you know, like, maybe this is me, but I think whenever anyone puts kisses at the end of a message, I'm like, they're ending the conversation with me right now. Anything like that, it might not be the right time, but you can be like, great, I'm going to shelve this, might come back to it. Or like, I can just see that they're not an ideal client. Okay. The people that are open to hearing about your offer know you can help them, and they are warmed up and open to hearing about it. Okay. And again, this, like, going back to this previous point, but there is no rush to pitch. Conversations in the DMs, when you build a magnetic client brand around you, when you know how to effectively market and sell yourself, your networking in the DMs comes a lot down to just brand awareness and boosting engagement, right? Because naturally, and you guys can tell me if you think it's the same, but I know for me, if somebody sends me a DM, the first thing I do is I go to their profile, because I'm like, I want to see who I'm speaking to. Obviously, not every time if you've got ongoing conversations, but the first time you're like, who is this? Who am I talking to? And so that is why conversations in the DMs and engagement is so important, because it raises awareness. It sends people back to your profile. So then they see your bio again and they're like, oh my God, this person can really help me. They look at a few bits of your content and they're like, this really speaks to me. As such, they make more effort to engage with your content and to consume your content, because they know that it's really good content. Okay. Georgina, my DM got you here. Awesome. So it just shows it works, right? It just shows it works. So yeah, it's about relationship building more than anything, because people will come to you when the time is right for them. And then when you're having DM conversations as well, sprinkling in bits of authority as you go through the conversation so that you don't get friend zoned. So I'm going to give you an example here. Somebody says, again, I just think of these random examples off the top of my head. Like, I'm really struggling to show up confidently on video at the moment. To say, like, obviously I'm not condoning you don't lie. I'm saying, like, you have to, this is based on like what you've done in the past, but you're like, this is really interesting. This is something that I actually did with one of my previous clients. And I want you to think as well that people think in order to use the word clients, they have to be paid clients. They don't. A client is a client, whether you've worked with them for cheap, whether you've worked with them for free. A client is a client. Anyone that you have helped through coaching is somebody that you can reference as a client. So authority sprinkling, like, this is really interesting. It's something that I did a training on last week for my audience, or it's something that I've actually helped a previous client with, or this is something actually that I'm working with one of my clients on right now. You're sprinkling that authority that's like, not going to friend zone here, but it's like, oh, okay, she's working with clients, or she has worked with clients, or she's doing training on this. She's a bit ahead of me. Okay. So sorry, Katie, I know, sorry. It's just so much value, and yeah, I'll send you the replay. The replay is going out anyway, so you can catch the recording. Awesome. And then finding out from your audience what they really need help with. So this is like the biggest thing, because ultimately it means that you can create better content for your audience. So when you find out what they need help with, if they say, again, random example, I really struggle with showing up on video because I don't have confidence, then you can be like, right, add to my to-do list. I'm going to create content around how to show up confidently on video. And then ultimately they're going to see it, or you can go back to a conversation and be like, oh, I know you said you were struggling with this, and I wrote a post about it the other day, and I'm just sending it to you because I've got some really great tips in there for how you can do this. But also it gives you a really good opportunity to pitch your services to them if they're a right fit. So asking them to open up about what they're struggling with, a few more pre-qualifying questions, you're like, you would be a really good fit to work with me because you know, you've mentioned X, Y, and Z, and I can help you with X, Y, and Z. Really simple and straightforward. I don't want you to overcomplicate anything. Sprinkling authority, great. Peace. Awesome. And then, yeah, when you're speaking to them as well, like empower them by asking your audience, asking whoever you're speaking to, that lead, ask them deeper questions that get them thinking. Because disempowering them would be where it literally feels like a script, where you're just asking them closed questions that just like get a yes or no answer. But when you take the time to genuinely connect and ask them open questions that get them to really open up to you, and this can take time because a lot of people will only do that when they trust someone. But again, you can do this through content, through relationship building. People are you know, when you ask these deeper questions, it's like coaching. We know this is the power of coaching, that people come to their own realization about something. So when you ask them deeper questions, it gets them thinking, and then they start going, yeah, actually, maybe like I do need help with this. You know, now that you've mentioned this, like it is something that like I probably should work on a bit more. It's a very good opportunity to be like, that's, you know, I'm really glad that you've come to that realization. That's something that I could actually help you with. So yeah, just ask them open questions that get them to really open up about what they're struggling with, you know, what success looks like to them, what they really, really want to achieve, like with their business or their life, depending on what your niche is. Okay. So my tip for you from this round is to make it a daily goal to start conversations with new people, whatever that number is for you. Make it a daily goal to start conversations with new people, and always detach from the outcome when you are having these conversations. Just go into a conversation and focus on getting to know that person on a personal level. That's all you're doing, because that is when they are going to open up to you and be more open to hearing about what you have to offer as well. That makes sense. So awesome. Any other questions there at all? Let me know. I know that you guys would just put it in the chat box. But yeah, let me know if that all makes sense. If there's anything there in particular that was super helpful that you're going to start doing. Yeah. So just to let you know, we're on to the last bit now, just to manage those expectations as well. So I hope that, I know it's going to run over a bit, but I hope it's all super, super valuable for you. Awesome. Cool. So then the biggest mistake that I see all new coaches making when they're starting out, and how you can correct it immediately. Well, there are two things here. Okay. So I thought there is one, and I thought actually I'm gonna make it two. So first of all is actually not getting help. And I'm going to be completely honest about that. Freebies and accountability buddies are only going to get you so far. I actually did a post on this the other day, because these two things are not going to teach you what you need to know to get clients. And I know that a lot of new coaches can have this mindset of like, I'm going to invest when I make money from my business. But the reality is that it's difficult for you to get to that point to make the money without investing it up front to get the help firsthand. And I'm going to be very honest about that. Now, I don't have one of these stories of people that say like, oh my goodness, I struggled for months or years before I got help, because I knew from the offset that I needed help, and I wasn't prepared to wait around and do it myself, quite frankly. So being an entrepreneur, we all know this and we speak about it all the time. It means taking risks, and that does include financial investment. And if you're telling yourself that you can't afford to invest, then to be perfectly honest, we attract what we give off. And if you are saying, I can't afford to invest in like a business mentor, the people that you are going to attract to your business are the people who are going to tell you that they can't afford your services, or the people that ask you for a discount on your services, or, you know, say, can you do it a little bit cheaper for me? Because when you see the value of investing into your business and your own success, you show up with a different kind of energy. Your audience sees you as someone who is serious about their business. And what's really good as well is because it means that you can speak with your audience very confidently about the money that you have invested into your own business, because you have to be you have to be set an example to your clients, and you can't convince somebody that they should invest in you if you are not willing to invest in yourself. So yeah, you can speak about like, I invested this into like my business and my success, and how like you have to invest if you want to see results as well. So this is a very, very powerful message for you to put across to your own audience, because your story and your experiences are very powerful selling tools. As we know, people buy in a lot to people's stories, storytelling, like people's experiences, what got you to where you are now, and why they should trust you to like invest in you. And then the second thing that you can correct immediately is selling. New coaches don't sell, or at least you're not selling consistently. So you're probably out there, you're giving value, you're using your content to like boost engagement, but then you wonder like why you're struggling to sign clients, sign high ticket clients. And the reason is because most likely you are not selling. And as I said, if you're not selling, people are not buying. And it's not your fault that you're not selling, because the truth is that you probably don't have the full confidence to go out there and sell right now. And as we've said, it relates to all of the other points: procrastinating on your niche, not having an irresistible offer, not knowing how to create content that actually resonates with your audience. And because you don't know how to sell in a way that actually feels good for you, in a way that feels good and empowering, and that also converts. And as I said, this confidence with selling comes down to all of those things that I have actually like mentioned already. And it kind of comes back to the above point, which is like, if you don't invest in help, you're going to go round in this vicious circle of not selling, but then wondering why you can't sign consistent clients. So my tip here for these two is, first of all, to start selling today. You need to be selling your services daily if you want to start signing clients. Okay. And then the second thing is if you know that you can't figure it out for yourself, because it's not just about accountability, there's actually knowledge that you need. You need to know like how to effectively market and sell yourself in order to sign clients on repeat. Then you need to take that step to invest in help, because the chances are, if you don't know now how to figure it out, no amount of weeks or months is going to change that for you. Okay. So Nick, sprinkling in authority, exactly, so valuable. And if everyone else wants to feels happy sharing like what your biggest take home so far is going to be as we are approaching the end, then that would be really, it'd be helpful for you, and it would be helpful for me as well to see what you found really useful from this webinar. So let me know. That is the end of the training. And before I go on to the very last 5 minutes, I want to ask you guys if there's any questions, if there's anything that I haven't covered that you would want to cover, and also your intention that you set at the start about what you wanted to get out of this. Reflect on that right now, and have you got whatever it is that you wanted? And just, if you could, let me know in the chat box. So best takeaway: detach from the outcome of a DM network, reach out. Brilliant, Kirsty, really helpful. Thank you. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So awesome. Right. So I told everybody that, and if there's any questions, sorry, just put them over and I'm going to cover any that come over in the next 5 minutes. So I said that I had a really special announcement for all workshop attendees. So I'm going to, so I'm just going to announce it. So of course, you guys have been here, and I'm going to be very honest about the fact that I am going to just spend a couple of minutes telling you about my coaching and what it could look like for us to work together. Okay. So everything that I've covered in today's workshop is exactly what I help my clients with when we work together, but in so much more detail, because what we've done today is we've only just scratched the surface. There is so much more that you need to know, to learn, to implement in order to get those results as quickly as possible. And all of my coaching packages, which by the way range from like 3 to 6 months, they're completely tailored to you and your goals, and basically what you want to achieve in your business financially, and financially or not financially, because it's not just about financials when you're a new coach. But what my coaching program helps you do is launch your coaching business and also learn how to consistently enroll clients moving forward without having to do endless launches. And I know this is like a big thing that people see online. They think they can only make money when they're launching, but my coaching teaches you that you don't, and you can actually sign consistent clients without having to do launching, so that you are not having to worry about where your next client is coming from, or when your next invoice is going to be paid, which when you are wanting to take your coaching business full time is the most important thing for you, right? Because we do have to worry about bills that need to be paid. And I don't teach you how to have one successful launch or how to sign one client or two clients and then like that's it. It's about consistent clients, because that is what is going to build your business consistently on repeat. So through niche clarity, creation of your irresistible offer, all these things are what I've spoken about already. So like mapping out your coaching program, and a coaching program that your clients actually need, right? So sales psychology, authority building, understanding why people buy, and the cherry on top, which is very, very effective and clever marketing, because the power of your marketing is going to determine whether you're successful or not. And all of these things in great detail are how you're going to see results ASAP in your coaching business. So essentially, like you're probably wondering, who exactly is my coaching for? So I'm going to tell you who it's for. So essentially it's for action takers. I only want to work with action takers. These are people who are determined and motivated and committed to putting in the hard work to see success as quickly as possible in their business. Okay. Because my coaching is like very, very results focused, whatever those results look like for you. It's for you if you want to start signing clients as soon as possible. It's also for you if you want to learn how to attract ideal clients to your business that don't question your pricing, they don't tell you that you're too expensive, they don't ask for a discount. They are waving their credit card at you, ready to pay your full invoice because they know that you can help them with the very thing that they need help with. This is what I help you with as well. And lastly, if you want to learn how to actually attract clients, not having to compromise your authenticity, if you want to show up and be yourself, and know how to attract clients, being your unique and wonderful self, this is who it's for as well, so that you can sign clients like literally being the person that you are. So as I said, because you come to this workshop and I highly value loyalty and commitment, they're very, very important values for me. I have a really, really special proposal, which is for the next 24 hours, I am offering 2 people only the opportunity to start working with me with a discount of £200 off the coaching package and also an additional 60-minute coaching call. So this is going to be like a master initial like goal planning, setting out everything for 2021 on top of everything that applies in the coaching package. And I want you to know as well that I offer really, really good and affordable payment plans so that it is affordable for you, because I know that most people don't have the money to invest in a coach up front. So the offer for the 60 minutes for the £200 off is only available for the next 24 hours and only for 2 people because it is a discount. And once those 2 coaching spots are taken, that is it until I decide to open up more. So essentially, if you want to claim one of those spots, then drop me a message on my Instagram, reply to the emails that I've been sending out about this, connect with me after. Or if you just want to have an informal chat to find out more, I am not a pushy salesperson, and this is something I teach my clients to do as well. So if you just want to find out more about what it could look like for us to work together, then just drop me a message and we can set up a really informal chat. So yeah, I wanted to let everyone know about that it's only for the 24 hours. So great. So I hope that all makes sense. Creating an irresistible offer and selling daily. Thank you so much. So much valuable information. And I'm so happy that you guys have all turned up, because a lot of the time, like taking that first step, even giving up an hour to like of your time, is a lot of people don't take that first step because it kind of then means that everything's actually becoming real. And you guys chose to do that. So like, I really appreciate it. I know you guys are here to learn, but like, I really value your time. And I appreciate the fact that you've given up an hour of your evening to come and listen to me waffle on about all of this stuff. So I hope it's been super, super valuable for you. If you do have any other questions, then please let me know. And I'd be more than happy to answer them about anything that I've covered in the training. And yes, there's going to be you're going to be available for 24 hours if anyone does want to catch the replay for an hour and a quarter. Hopefully not. But anyway, you've all taken loads of notes. So thank you so much for coming. As I said, any questions, pop them over to me. I will let you guys go and have an awesome rest of week. Thumbs up for anyone. There's only a few on video, but for everyone else, I presume there's a thumbs up there. And yeah, thanks guys. Have a wonderful week. Thank you. Awesome. Okay.